I think a lot of these Western leaders are afraid to say it, but nobody wants what they're doing. He's the one guy that has the nerve to stand up and say it. You cannot have this anymore.
Well, you're exactly right. And Europe has been overrun by immigration. Last 10 years, it's become noticeable now to everybody across the world how we've lost the UK, France, Italy, Sweden. They have bombings every day, and it used to be a quiet little country. But they've allowed all these people to come in. They don't assimilate. They don't want to go by their culture. They don't want to go by their anything that they do in terms of their values. They don't go by the laws. But they're globalists, and that's what we've got here in the Biden administration. They're all globalists. They want to have no borders. They want everybody to come and be part of what we have, and that's not what we're about.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer Now. Let's have a conversation about the latest words said by Donald Trump that made people sad. And not only the words Donald Trump said, but Tommy Tuberville saying they didn't go far enough.
This really does tee up another tenuous battle for Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill, not only because they are negotiating on this increasingly and always thorny issue of immigration, but because they're now not doing it in a vacuum. And negotiators in the room will cop to that. They know that as they're hammering out border restrictions, they are going up against someone on the Republican side who is likely going to be the nominee in former President Donald Trump. They are hearing those comments that he's making about immigrants. They are being asked about what he's saying about immigrants somehow poisoning the blood of this country. And I think what I'm continually struck by is the ways in which Republicans are trying to portend that immigration policy in 2023 and 2024 can somehow be divorced from the comments that Trump is making on the campaign trail, which are only going to be increasingly in the spotlight as he inches closer and closer to taking this nomination. And so it impacts what's happening in the room there, because Democrats are now trying in some ways to Trump-proof this legislation.
Now, the trend here with American liberals and the media, or the media and their Democrats, is always basically the same. Yes, we're very upset about things that are said as opposed to things that are happening. We have record illegal immigration coming in through the border, so we're upset that Donald Trump is using language that we're pretending we think is about Adolf Hitler. Now, it's so stupid because they're both mad that Donald Trump is echoing Adolf Hitler, and they're mad that Donald Trump hasn't read Mein Kampf. Make up your mind, guys. Which is it? Is he supposed to be a Hitler superfan, and you're mad about that? Or he doesn't know enough about Hitler, and you're mad about that? Now, Tommy Tuberville's statements, where Donald Trump doesn't go far enough, are accurate. And you can be mad at him if you want. But the simple fact of the matter is this. Our border is a mess, and something needs to be done about it, and it needs to be done now. We are watching as millions of people are coming into this country. And yes, it is changing not only our culture, but it is changing our country. And it is not supposed to be done this way. It is supposed to be done in a way that benefits us. That's how immigration is supposed to work. And you want to make these arguments that this is Hitlerian or some nonsense, go right ahead and do so. But why don't you actually make the argument that Joe Biden is doing a good job on the border? Why don't you make the argument that our country is being made stronger, that our blood is being strengthened by millions upon millions of illegal immigrants coming into this country? And the argument that, hey, don't be so racist because that's what Hitler did or some nonsense is just a distraction from the fact that it's not just Mexicans. It is people from Africa and Asia and Europe and everywhere else on the planet coming to the United States. And we have no idea who those people actually are. Yet we're going to pretend that the real problem here is Donald Trump calling it out or Tommy Tuberville agreeing with him, but we know that's not the case. Tommy Tuberville is right. Donald Trump is right. And the Americans have a real problem with this on both the left and the right. They're right too.
And again, you just heard the prime minister or president from Hungary. I mean, he was exactly right. He is a guy that understands what's going on. And I heard a speech recently of Vladimir Putin. He's laughing at us. He's laughing at the United States of America, saying that we don't have morals anymore, we don't have borders anymore. Right. And this is the president of Russia laughing at the United States of America. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves, but this administration could care less. They want everybody to come in, and it's costing the American taxpayers billions of dollars.